And with the 25th pick overall in the 2024 first round, the Green Bay Packers select not Cooper DeJean. They go and get Jordan Morgan, a guy who was projected to kind of go early second round, but the Packers, Brian Gutekunst, thought that, hey, listen, we don't want to miss out on a prospect like Jordan Morgan. There's rumors that the Commanders are going to be trading up to go and snag Jordan Morgan. The Packers probably, catch ear of that. Brian Gutekunst wants to protect his asset in Jordan Love. He goes and he drafts Jordan Morgan over the guy that we all wanted, Cooper DeJean. Now, that being said, the Packers just made the perfect move. What are we talking about? Well, the Packers, uh, they made a move over to at right guard to Anthony Belton. Anthony Belton, his RAS coming out of college, wasn't the most sexy RAS out there. He scored a 7.72 out of a possible 10, and this ranked 344th out of 1,500 tackles out there since 1987. That being said, we know that Brian Gutekunst loves to draft guys who will kind of slide all over the line, that are able to play tackle, that are able to play guard and rotate. And Anthony Belton is one of those guys coming out of college that had, some great prospect to him, selected in the second round by the Packers. Now, here are some of the strengths coming for Anthony Belton coming out of college. So wide frame, slows rushers, progress at the edge. We've seen that. We've seen some of his footwork. We've seen what he's capable of doing. He certainly seems to be a great fit at guard. Now it leaves you questioning, okay, so where's Jordan Morgan? He's still just this prospect. What's going to happen to Rasheed Walker? Does Jordan Morgan take over Rasheed Walker at left tackle once the year is done? Like, what's going to happen there? Is this pick of Brian Gutekunst's Jordan Morgan in the first round just going to be a flop? Nobody quite knows, but we know that he's certainly a depth piece at the moment, which the Packers, of course, need depth there. But talking about Anthony Belton, upper body power, he opens up some gaps. We've seen that. We saw that this past game against the Chicago Bears. Josh Jacobs had some lanes to run in. Upper body power, like we've talked about, displays ability to sink his pads. Surprisingly nimble feet. He's always keeping his legs moving, his feet moving. If you ever watch film on him, I really like the potential with Anthony Belton at guard for the Packers. And it says right here also potential to become a more dominant blocker with tweaks to his hands. He's hungry to drive opponents into the grass as a block finisher. We've seen him continue blocking and not giving up on his blocks, which I love. I think that's an art that is lost in the NFL. You've got guys that just don't stay on their blocks. You got too many guys standing around, and then it ends up in a sack or not buying your quarterback enough time. That being said, let's take a look at some film here. You've got now this is against the Minnesota Vikings earlier in the year, but you've got Anthony Belton. You can see right there again, he's sticking on his blocks, keeping his legs moving. He's keeping his pad level is great. I really like what I see out of Anthony Belton. I think this is going to be a great chess move by Matt LaFleur and company to make the switch and stick with, okay, hey, listen, we like Anthony Belton at guard. We saw the improvement to their offensive line this last week. And why am I saying that? Okay, so let's take a look at the team stats overall. Okay, so the Packers come up with a big win at Lambeau Field. You've got total yards by the Packers, 337. Again, a lot of that happens to be the success of any offense runs through your offensive line, period. And obviously, Brian Gutekunst understands that, knows that. That's why he went and drafted Jordan Morgan when he did, because he understands the success of the team's offense certainly goes through the offensive line, period, because they open up lanes for the run game. They open up the pass game for your franchise quarterback. They protect your asset in that. Nobody wants to get blindsided. And then all of a sudden, you've got a quarterback that's just trying to fight back from injuries constantly because he's getting nailed all the time. But Jordan Love, he's got great mobility in the backfield as it stands, but he's protected well against the Chicago Bears. Passing yards, for Jordan Love, 220 yards passing, but man, you gotta love the play calling ability right now. I love that the Packers are not just doing, quick dump outs to get the ball out of Jordan Love's hand in a hurry. And they've got some speedsters. We've seen that in Christian Watson. We've seen what the dude can do with 2.21 seconds in the pocket. He's throwing 40 yards down the field to touchdown pass to Christian Watson. That means you've got some speed as wideouts, but you're also getting protected. Jordan Love's getting the ball out of his hand in a hurry. I love the play calling that we've seen over the last couple of weeks by Matt LaFleur. But again, sacks. How many times was Jordan Love sacked? Only one time in this game. The Packers looked really good. They dominated this game against the Chicago Bears, but the end score didn't look like it in the second half. The defense looked different. They couldn't stop the run of Chicago. Chicago just time of possession. Let's take a look at time of possession here. Time of possession was a problem in the second half for sure because you've got 33 minutes as opposed to 26 minutes. The Packers were scoring in a hurry. Scoring wasn't a problem for them. It was keeping Chicago's offense off the field in the second half. That was the problem for them. You had a tired defense that was worn down, and you had an offense in Chicago. Ben Johnson knows that this Packer pass rush is a problem for any team out there. So he's trying to get the ball into the hands of the running backs to keep the defense just out there and take the pass rush ability away from the Packers and Micah Parsons and company. Okay, so time of possession, though, 26 to 33. That was the big glaring standout to me. I really want to see the Packers dominate time of possession, but in order to do that, you're going to just have to keep feeding Josh Jacobs, but take the ball out of Jordan Love's hands. Jordan Love is way too good, as he's shown to keep the ball out of his hands. I really loved what I saw out of the game. I want you guys to leave your comments. I love the chess move of Matt LaFleur and company to move Anthony Belton to right guard. I think that is that checkmate type of move for the Packers going forward, going into the playoffs, looking at the playoffs, all of that. I think this is a very good move by Brian Gutekunst. I want you guys to leave your comments. Also, let me know what you think about Jordan Morgan. Is this dude going to be a flop? Is this a bust of a pick for Brian Gutekunst, or is this going to be just a one more year to develop before we potentially move him at left tackle in replace of Rasheed Walker if we don't re-sign him? He might be a pricey re-sign. So leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, go Pack Go.